On the morning of April 20th, kids were messing around while teachers tried to teach. This usual tranquil environment in our schools was pierced by gunfire. Within moments, students were screaming in utter terror while gunfire pierced the very air around them. By the end of the day, 12 students and one teacher lay dead. This very scene invaded the televisions around the world and the US in 1999. This scene and many others have played out throughout the years in our schools, churches, malls, and even movie theaters. We have allowed our anger and hatred to seep out. Just this last year, we have watched live as anger and hatred tore this nation apart, attacking one another with words of hate and intolerance, taking sides both politically and economically. The left, in its hatred, attacked the character of our previous president, Trump. The right, in indignant hatred, has slandered the character of our current president, Biden. I hear the left started this when I remember clearly Christian men and women in hatred wanted our former president, Barack Obama, dead. Christians attack one another and opposing sides on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, and so many other social media platforms. Being intolerant of those that express an opinion different than our very own. In anger, we often attack another's race, their creeds, ideals, and even their personal character with words of hatred. Look deep inside and ask yourself, do you really hate your neighbor? Is there a coworker that causes you to lash out in anger? In the store, when retail staffs do not treat you the way you want to be treated, does that cause you to want to lash out? Or how about when you are in heavy traffic? Do you curse, swear, flip off a car next to you that may have cut you off, or honk your horn at another? How can you say you love God and you hate your brother? We read in 1 John 4:20, if anyone says, I love God and hates his brother, he is a liar, for he does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. We are anything but meek when we attack others with our words, insisting on our own ways. We are not peacekeepers when we strike our neighbors in hate and vengeance. We insist on our own opinion being right. We become angry, lashing out at those around us. For what reason? On the night that Jesus was betrayed, Pilate had Jesus flogged. A crown of thorns was twisted and put on his head. Now, I want you to know what a Roman flogging was. It was no simple whipping. This involved strips of leather embedded with bone shards, embedded in with weights down to weigh it down with lead, to allow the bone shards to sink into the skin and tear it, striking the back 39 times. Christ endured this flogging on our behalf. We read in Isaiah 53, 4 through 5, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And with his wounds we are healed. Jesus paid our price. He paid the price that our anger and hatred had inflicted upon him. He endured the beating of the Roman soldiers on our behalf. God loved us that he willingly paid the price for our sins. This Lenten season, let us remember that Christ endured for our transgressions. This should cause us to rend our hearts. As we read in James 4:8-10, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be wretched, and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you. I plead this holiday season to turn back from your anger and hatred and humble yourselves. May we love others just as Christ has loved us and endured the cross on our behalf. Let us remember what it means to be ambassadors for Christ, so that we can reach those not in anger, but in love towards our neighbor. We read in Luke 6:27, may we learn to love our enemy, do good to those who hate you.